we're on day 7, the last day of the Whole Food Plant-Based Reset Bootcamp. As a matter of fact, if you want, you can in the chat, you can put either replay or live, whichever you are. And it was a great boot camp. And we didn't do 7 consecutive days because of just various reasons, scheduling, and we had an appointment one of the days, but here we are. And Faye, I thought maybe it would be good for you to open us up and tell it, you just sort of do a summary of why we did the boot camp, where you were in your journey, etc.
So I gained a lot of weight. Actually, I got on the scale, so I know that I gained probably about 25 plus pounds from COVID. I, like I've said before, I love tortilla chips and they love me too. They love me back. And so I was very frustrated and I've been tried to start again and again and again, and it just didn't work. And I thought, you know what? My husband and I were going to go see Ellen and her husband, Mike, on a little vacation. And I thought, it's a perfect opportunity for Ellen to kick me in the booty. So when I went to Massachusetts, it became boot camp. And I got to tell you, she kicked my booty. But I'm here, and this is now probably 13 to 14 days. I ended up getting on the scale yesterday because the batteries were out. My scale's been in there so long. So I got new batteries, got on the scale, faced the music, and my
That
55th.
hard? Can we talk about that? Were you like reluctant to do that?
Was very reluctant because I knew that the number was higher than I wanted it to be.
You didn't know for sure.
Hmm. I did because my clothes don't fit me that I had years ago.
Right. You and I have talked many, many times, often about using the scale as an informational tool. And I know that you've been not thrilled you've never wanted to use it.
I go to the doctor and I say, you don't need to know how much I weigh.
Oh, and
Yeah.
you wouldn't even weigh yourself at the doctor. Wow. And
One
maybe,
time, one time I said, do not let me see this. And they left it out on the counter. I'm like, nope.
oh, you saw it?
I'm that, I'm that neurotic and obsessed. I'm that neurotic about it, Ellen. But I went on 2 days in a row because we talked about getting an average. So, and today it was the same
Oh,
thing.
I'm going to try not to interrupt you. So you went on 2 days in a row. Tomorrow will be the third. And
Yes.
you'll take an average, right, of the three. And then if the first day you did it was Sunday, so then you won't weigh yourself again until next
And
Sunday, right? And then you'll do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
so I went on the scale 2 days in a row, and I've done a lot of prepping, and I have ingrained in my head what I can and can't have. Last night, a couple that I'm really good friends with asked me if I wanted to go to a dinner with this group that I belong to. And I said, you know what, I have to politely, well, she was going with a group, so it's not like it was just us. I have to politely deny it because I'm following my whole food plant-based diet. And for this first month or so, I must not go out to a restaurant, and I especially can't go to Pasconi's Italian restaurant because that would not be a good idea. What am I going to get there? Steamed vegetables. That's it. I mean, I don't know, pasta. We haven't talked about adding pasta in at all, but I've been pretty much concentrating. I'm still eating the brown rice quinoa blend I have, and all the vegetables I cut up yesterday: broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, you name it. So it's safe for me not to go out just yet.
Do you foresee a time when you'll be able to?
Yes, I do. I foresee Thursday night when my friend Linda, who I went to visit, comes down to Florida, and about 4 couples are going out for dinner. So she said to me, we'll talk about it when I get there, but I'm going to send her a text and tell her that Asian food is my best choice because I can have rice and steamed vegetables.
And also, you could even have steamed tofu.
Right. Correct. Yeah, steamed tofu. So, um, but I'm very proud of myself. It's probably been about, like I said, almost 2 weeks, and you can see it in my face. I mean, you know what? The biggest judge should be me, but my husband says it every day, multiple times a day. He tells me how you're doing great, keep going,
So he's really supporting you,
100%.
right? And remember the issue that we talked about with the box in the garage for the, do you feel, is there any change in your need to have that box?
Not really, no, not really, because I'm so hell bent on sticking to this lifestyle and making sure it suits me. So no, I mean I bought him crackers the other day at Costco. He told me he ran out to Publix and said, I'm in the mood for a turkey burger. I said, bye. So you know what? It is what it is. I can't change him. That 2 pieces of sourdough bread. Well, it was 1 piece of sourdough bread cut in half today with 2 eggs, avocado, and Swiss cheese on it.
Oh, you know
Mm.
what? I thought that might be good for us to pull an angel card.
I was going to say that the angel cards were so helpful this week, so helpful, and how we embellished upon them. The wisdom one from the other day. Um, we had so many.
That happens. All right. So in any case, yes, I felt that the angel cards were really helpful, and also the other cards as well. The
Mhm.
power thought cards I thought were very helpful. So I'll pull one, and that way we can refer to it as needed. And did you notice that on the day that you and I went live and we pulled the wisdom card, that Shauna pulled the wisdom card too? Wasn't that funny? Like, what a small world. Okay.
Fine intervention. Joy. I love that one.
Yeah, Joy. That's our sister's, your twin's middle name is Joy, right? So, Joy, you want to speak first about the joy, or you want me to?
Joy is how I'm feeling right now. Lots of joy
Because
because this is the longest amount of time I have stayed committed, not interested.
you learn, you're a dutiful student. Yes, the joy. And what would you say brings the joy? What helps to stimulate the joy?
Um, well, talking to you or texting you daily, multiple times, and knowing what I have to do to be successful brings me joy.
Mhm.
You know, it brings me joy. It brings me joy to yeah.
Yeah, and it's the joy that you get, or I'll speak for myself, right? The joy that I get from following a plan that helps me feel better about myself and the commitment, it's you have to you have to practice that commitment. But I think the more you practice the commitment, really for anything, it doesn't matter, even if it's practicing your piano, the more you practice, or in Barb's case, the guitar, the more you practice.
Mhm.
Oh, Ella, stop yawning. The tech thing just really got me today, but I figured it out, didn't I? So the joy that I feel at having done this and is really something that it's almost hard to kind of even put into words. It's, I don't know, Barb, you and I haven't really talked very much about this, but one of my concerns is that a lot of people have not taken me seriously when I've said that I never in the last 7 years have said that I'm on a diet. But when people ask why I'm eating a certain way, and I tell them that I'm really watching for my health purposes, I can't tell you how most of the time people say, what are you are you kidding? Look at you. You're great. You're skinny. You're this, you're that. And I don't want to go into a whole long thing about it with them, but there were so many years where I struggled with food choices, and so many years where I struggled with health issues like indigestion. I had terrible indigestion, and my self-esteem around, I ended up making choices that were not good for me when Michael and I became a thing. I, started drinking every night, having a cocktail. It was, 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock somewhere. Let's have a cocktail, or starting to eat the food that he ate, and all of it, and lots of it, and seconds, sometimes thirds. I mean, that's why I gained the weight that I did. And the joy that I have now as a result of making this commitment. Not only because I feel better, I feel like Shauna said this, I feel like I'm aging backwards. Yeah, I still have gray hair and but I feel in a way like I'm aging backwards. I am just so grateful to having found Chef AJ in the first place and then really found Dr. McDougall and Dr. Esselstyn and all of those my heroes who have helped me to do this. And so I want to segue for a moment and just tell you that I even to this day have uh, demons, those little nasty little persistent voices in my head that try to um, trip me up and try to get me to get off, and they're persistent. Those and I've been doing this, right? I'm pretty. Would you say, Faye, that I'm pretty darn disciplined?
Very much so. Obsession, discipline, but in a good way.
Right. I used to think, other people would say obsession, but I want to reframe that as not obsessed, but committed
Committed. Exactly.
and not
Exactly.
obsessed. And when I see the amount of, and you and I have talked about this, when I see the amount of um, obesity and disease, chronic lifestyle diseases, that just makes me more committed because that scares the you know what out of me because I don't want to have those issues. Or if, anybody who has them, I'm sure you would like to either eliminate them or at least diminish them, right? So, um, but those voices, even yesterday we went to the flea market again, which is something that Michael and I do like at least once or twice a summer. Mm. Salami. I don't know what it is. It's disgusting. It smells like salami. Um, but we went and we used to go, well, we actually always did. Every summer after we would do the flea market on the way home, we would stop at this cute little cafe and have breakfast. And before I really started this commitment, I would have whatever I wanted. And once I started the commitment, I started bringing my breakfast with me for the most part. And I would always order something. I would order usually fruit to go along with my oatmeal. But yesterday, even, those little voices were like, I was thinking on the way back from Todd Farm, before we got to um, the breakfast place, which we didn't go to ultimately, but I remember thinking to myself, maybe I'll just go and get a Beyond Burger or pancakes. They have gluten-free pancakes. So that persistent voice is
Mhm.
still in my head, but I've had so much, and I'll pull the card again. I've had so much joy from the commitment and the success that I've had that there ain't nothing going to stop me at all. I feel so good that I'm going to remember that how I feel, and I'm not going to undo that. I don't want to undo that. So those voices, my concern is that with you, with me, with all of us, is how to handle those, Shauna calls them sassy voices in your head. How are you going to handle, and I think we have to be prepared for those voices because those voices are going to come. They are. And you're in this sort of honeymoon phase right now, but the honeymoon phase is going to end and those voices are going to come out. And then the question is, how are you going to stick to it? Like, you don't have to answer this right now, but you've got a big trip coming up in next spring.
Yeah, I do. I
How,
do.
are you going to handle or if Alan wants to go, to a winery right now, how are you going to handle that? And I'm not, that's a rhetorical question. I'm not expecting you to answer it, but right now you're in the honeymoon phase. And I think that the hard part, they also say that the easy part is not so much that it's not so hard to lose the weight. It's hard to maintain the weight loss. And if you continue to think of, or if one continues to think of the weight loss not as being the primary driver, but that the health span and increasing your health span and being able to get down on the floor with your grandkids and live a life that is healthy and not that's going to put you in a nursing home or an assisted living facility,
Mhm.
right? So I guess I'll throw the ball over to you and see if you have anything more to say about that.
You were saying something before about people like, look at you, why do you need to do this? So my mantra is always going to be because I'm healing myself from the inside out. Like Shauna says,
Mhm.
I'm healing myself from the inside out. People don't do that. They just, so that's that. And I don't think you're right. I'm in the honeymoon period. I don't have demons yet, yet,
But they're
you know.
coming. I mean, I don't mean to be like a negative Nancy or anything, but they're coming because I think that they come for all of us. And it's only when we develop that backbone. And one of the things, there are three things that I talk about a lot in my videos. One of them is taking bold, brave action. And you have taken bold, brave action. You
Mhm.
have. And you've made a remarkable, you know, well, 380, 190, which is it? When you go, you've made a remarkable recovery in terms of your behavior and your choices. The second thing I talk about is never giving up. And that's where those demons will come in, and you have to say to those demons, no, I don't think so. Bye. You know, you
So
have,
I was at the pool today, right? You know that. I was at the pool today and I saw two friends of mine I had not spent time with since in like over 2+ months because
really.
they were away and such. And they said, what do you want to do? And how are we going to, what should we do? And they said, let's go for dinner. And I said, you know what? I have a better idea. I'll make you dinner.
Oh, you did?
Did. And she said, will you make me like food, like their own kind of food? I said, yes, I will. Because what they said was, my friend Susie said, I love bowls. I said, fine, I'll make you guys bowls. Alan can make their chicken. I'll have my vegetables. I'll make mine a little separate. I'll steam instead of stir fry and such. But that to me makes it easy for me to just, I said, I'm still in that period
A
that
honeymoon
I,
phase.
right, that I need to stick to it. So, yeah.
And the funny thing is, I've made bowls for company that
Mhm.
are my kind of bowls, and I've made it for company, and they love it. I have the Asian bowl that I made the first night that you were in, that you came to visit
Mhm.
with the peanut sauce.
Mhm.
It was so good, right? And you could make them that bowl, and then Alan can make the chicken or not. You can say, uh,
Now, they got their husbands and they're
right.
meeting.
I find it odd. Now, this is something that might be I think it's worth talking about. When one gets invited to somebody, I know it's the end of the day, we're both so tired. When one gets invited to somebody's house for dinner, it's not like you say, well, if you're not serving tofu, I'm not coming. Or in their case, if you're not serving my food, I'm not coming. That's so, so rude, right? When you invite somebody for dinner, there are people who would invite people for dinner and make it vegetarian or vegan. And well, like, why can't we do that?
Right.
Is that rude to invite people to make? Would it be rude for you to make your style? All right, and maybe with some tofu or something like that. Do you feel like you have to make the chicken?
That, you know what? You can lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink. I'm not going to ask them to change their ways. And especially the husbands, i.e. Alan, going out to get meat for turkey burgers. They're not on the same journey I'm on. And I don't feel like I don't have the need to force them to do anything because you know what? I want to have friends. So
Right.
as long as I'm taking care of myself and putting me on top, you know what? That's what I have to do, I guess.
All right. Well, that's kind of, that's usually what Michael asks me to do is you make the bowl, make everything in the bowl that you would normally have, and including the peanut sauce, and then let's just make sure that we have the protein, which is what they call it, the protein for our guests. And I'm not opposed to making it. I'll make it if he insists, or he can go out and grill on the barbecue and make it. So, but the bigger thing is more that we have to do what we can that requires us to take the bold, brave action so that we don't sabotage ourselves. That's what we want to make sure we don't. We don't sabotage ourselves. So we take the bold, brave action. We never give up. We are on that straight and narrow. We're not going to turn around and look behind us because what we did yesterday, the day before, a week before, a month before, 6 months before, when you went to Europe, that's done. You can't relive that. You can't get it back. The only thing you can do is move forward. And then the third thing that I talk about that's important is having a support team. And right now, you have a few different support teams under the umbrella of support team. What would you say your support teams are?
Well, I have you and my husband. I have some friends who are really good support teams. One of my friends who is a snowbird. I saw her at the pool today and we hugged, yada yada. And I had my thermos and I said, I'm not going to be eating what you're eating over there, as in the ribs and all that kind of stuff. I said, I'm on a program. It's just easier. I'm on a program and I need to bring my food. And she said, good for you, keep it up. So I don't have any friends that would say to me, oh, that's stupid.
Right.
You know, I don't have any friends that would be unsupportive.
And what
Yeah.
about other? So you have your me and your husband, you have your friends who you feel are supportive, and what about from a social media standpoint?
Well, Shauna's Healthy Kitchen, and I have
Well,
you introduced
Shauna is Starchy Shauna.
Archie Shauna and Sam.
Sam Cooke's kindness. So in other words, you have a bunch of people who you follow who are sort of your models in a way,
A lot of
right?
resources.
Resources, right? And why do you think that that's helpful?
Because because it's nice to know. I don't have to have it. It's nice to know that I have other people on my train, you know. I have a lot of people that are connected to my train and they really want what's best for me.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So another thing that I was thinking about today was as I made my lunch, which was I'll show you. Let's see, what did I have? Do I have a picture of it? I'll show it to you. I had a quite delicious lunch.
That looks good. Are those Yukon Golds?
Yukon Golds, and underneath the Yukon Golds are the Piñata Pintos,
Mhm.
which I made which I'll tell you about in a little bit. I made them overnight, and then I had a little tiny bit of brown rice, like maybe a quarter cup left, and I have my homemade cheese sauce, which I love, and I had the broccoli, and I steamed the broccoli on the stove, and I could barely, honestly, could barely finish it. It was good. Um, oops, I
I
see
have broccoli. I have broccoli waiting for me
you have
after
broccoli for you.
I didn't do my vegetables yet, my non-starchy vegetables. So after I finish, I'll go do those, my non-starchy vegetables. Yeah. But I just wanted to tell you that, so the word was joy today. I'm going to just
Yeah.
embellish on that. All right. I am overjoyed, not joyful, overjoyed. And one of my favorite songs of all time is a song that Stevie Wonder sings called Overjoyed. You have to listen.
Overjoyed. That one? Is that what it is?
Yep.
Oh, that I'll have to play that. I'll have to play that. Um, Paul is here. Hi, Paula. Glad to have you here with us. My sister Faye and I are talking about her experience on the 7-day Whole Food Plant-Based Reset Bootcamp. And you can watch the replay of this, I think both in the Facebook group and also I'll have it on my YouTube channel. So I wanted to talk a little bit about something that occurred to me today, which is I wondered if there will come a time where I'll get tired of eating this way. And I mean, I've been eating this way for almost 7 years, but I've really kind of honed in, right, on the starch solution I call it starch solution plus because I like to, and starch solution, there's a difference between starch solution and maximum weight loss. Both of them are McDougall programs. I tend to make sure that I have enough of what I consider the protein part of it. So I love eating tofu. Tempeh, I'm still on the fence about, but the tofu I love, and the edamame I love, and the soy curls I love, and the TVP. I don't love it, but it's okay. And so, I like to add those to as many meals as I can. In fact, I did add the tofu to my that lunch bowl that I just showed you. And I'm just stunned at how much it holds me, and I'm not feeling like nudgy hungry. I think that those starches are absolutely key. And too bad we were told our whole lives not to eat potatoes. Too bad. I mean, think of all the potatoes we could have, massive pounds of potatoes we could have eaten, you know. So is Alan hanging out there? I see you looking.
Yeah, they can come say hello. So the other thing that I told you when I was in Boston, and I'm going to tell you again, that no meal, we did not repeat any meals.
I
Did
know.
we repeat the components in different combinations? Who could get bored with that? You
True.
know, tonight I had the refried beans and the um quinoa lentil brown rice. The quinoa brown rice as my starch. And after we finish, I got mushrooms out, I got broccoli out, I got to see what else. I have kale I'm going to take out, and I'm going to saute all of them together or steam them.
Or bake them.
Yeah,
You could
yeah,
bake them. I saw somebody today, they bake just mushrooms with a little bit of garlic salt, and that's it. I think I'm going to do that for dinner tonight. I
yeah,
think that's good. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think that I'm going to get tired of eating this way. It feels, and the other thing too is that it's so easy. It's so effortless to, you know, especially if you're prepped.
yep.
If you're prepped, it's so much fun. It's so easy, effortless to open your fridge and like just say, "Oh, I'll have this." You have all these containers of either things that you prepped or things that are left over. And it's such an easy way of life. And as you go on further and I think once you hit your goal, you might decide that you want to add some flavor faves. Things that'll, in my case, it tends to be sriracha, but you'll find you might do sweet chili sauce. That's a good one that comes it's shelf stable. Have you had that? It's
I I have it in my refrigerator. I think it's a little too
yeah.
spicy for
It's too
me.
spicy for you. Yeah. So, but you'll find flavor faves that will help you. But for now, in your just really trying to nail down and kind of do what Shauna calls root this way of life into your life, I think it's best to be as simple as possible. And I mean, I go to bed at night excited that I'm going to have my oatmeal breakfast. I literally, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to wake up and have my oatmeal. And today, I think I told you I batch prepped it, so I have 3 more days of it to eat.
Yeah,
I
yes,
didn't,
yes.
I didn't love, 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 love how it came out, but I didn't hate it. I just have to adjust the amounts of all the ingredients. But in any case, what I did want to tell you is that I decided to try my hand at the slow cooker function of the Instant Pot, and it worked. I think it needed more time, and I also think I just didn't love the texture of the beans. They were done, but they're so much creamier when they do them either in a pressure cooker or in a what do you call it? In uh, a slow
Mm.
cooker. Oh, it was coming to me. I'm kind of on the fence about, I really want the slow cooker because I just like the idea of it. Do you have an opinion about a slow cooker versus making like bean soup, anything with beans in the Instant Pot? Do you have a feeling about it?
For me, I've used the slow cooker part of it, and there's no reason to buy a slow cooker when they have a slow cooker.
Right. But you've used the slow cooker part of the Instant Pot.
Yeah,
You have?
yeah, it's multifunctional. Yes.
Yikes. Well, it
Had
took
that for a long time.
right, but my slow cook the thing about the slow cooker function on the Instant Pot is that it doesn't work as you might think. It's not like any of the other functions where you just push slow cook. It takes a different amount of liquid, and it also takes a different amount of time. And there's a way to do it. I watched quite a few videos, and Penny Webster helped. She talked about this, but it was something like if a slow cooker recipe says 4 hours in a slow cooker, a crock pot, the idea is then to add, what is it, 1 hour. I think you add 1 hour and you add 15 minutes. Oh no, I can't. You know what? I'm going to get it wrong. I have to actually look at my notes. That you have to adjust the amount of time. So you can't simply go from a slow cooker recipe and then put it on the slow cooker function in the Instant Pot. You have to make some adjustments to it.
I'll
Hmm?
Google. I'll Google it and see.
Oh yeah, I mean I have, yeah, I can send you the links. I found one link that really was helpful. Um, but it also, the other thing is that for me, it's not a big deal because I'm lucky enough to have a 3, a 6, and an 8 quart Instant Pot. So it's I can use the which is what I did. I used the 8 quart to make the piñata beans, and it still left me with the 6 quart. But for people who only have one Instant Pot, do you really want to not jeopardize, but what's the word I want? Where you just use that. What if you want to use it for something else? Now all of a sudden it's working for 6, 8 hours and you can't use it, you know?
But it's like the yogurt, Ellen. It's like the yogurt. We put the yogurt in the Instant Pot for 18 hours. We don't use it.
That's true. That's true. I mean, you just do it. That's how you do it.
I want to get two things. I'll be right back. One
Okay.
second.
So, all right. Um, so we are gonna actually, now that I've done that angel card, I wanted to get to the main thing I wanted to talk about today was oil and the use of oil and how I on this way of eating, how I view and use, or in this case, don't use oil. So I'm gonna, Faye, I don't know if you heard that, but we're
Yeah.
now gonna move into like the main part of the conversation, which is about oil. And what are you opening before we do that?
I'm so excited. Can I take a minute and show you?
Yeah.
So I bought super cube, not super cubes. You know what I mean? I
Well,
bought
they're
like
super cube dupes.
dude, exactly. So I got this at on Amazon and I'm so excited. They're each a cup, I think it said.
Mm.
So
Keep talking because I have
them. And it tells you it's measured. If I want to put in a half a cup or a cup, it's measured, has a nice top to it. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to use them. I have to make soup. I'm going to make vegetable soup. Isn't that cool? And then the other thing I wanted to share with everybody was my sprouts. My sprouts. I made sprouts and I think they're ready, almost ready to eat. Perhaps tomorrow they'll be ready to eat. But I'm super duper excited about my sprouts. I know Ellen can see them.
let me see. Oh, how did they come out? Did you taste them?
No, but I don't know. How long do you have to let the tail go?
Well, I think they look done to me. Usually if you start seeing those tails, they're done.
So, and I listened to the directions and I rinsed them. They look delicious, don't they?
Can you hold it up? Were they lentil? They were literally like brown lentils?
Yes. All
Excellent.
right, Starchy, Shauna asked, what do I use them for? I'll put them in my salad. I'm gonna have salad too tonight because I'm not done eating. Mm,
Right, they're so good. And how many days did it take?
two.
That's it?
Yeah. Today's Monday, Sunday.
When did
I,
you literally, what night did you soak them overnight?
the day before yesterday.
So wait, you did it from Saturday
Yesterday,
to Sunday? So you did it
yes,
overnight Saturday to Sunday. Sunday you rinsed them, and then you didn't put water in them again after you rinsed them, correct? Right, you just let them sprout, and that was Sunday. So it had all day Sunday and it had all day today to sprout, Monday.
and they're
That,
supposed to be so good for you.
yes, they are. And there's a lot of other beans. You can sprout pretty much all beans. Yeah.
The chickpeas are not sprouting so fast, so I'm wondering if they're old
Yeah,
chick.
they take longer and they maybe they're older.
I'm thinking they're older.
Yeah, that could be it. And you
This,
have used cheesecloth?
yes, because I did not have the grated tops.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
think cheesecloth is okay, but I think in a pinch, but I would generally not want to use it just because I'm afraid it will get musty, moldy kind of. It doesn't, I'm sure it doesn't, right? Let's say you had sprouts that took 7 days, for example. I would not want to use cheesecloth on them. Are they soft?
but no, they're crunchy, a little crunchy. But but let me say, they're not so soft. They're a little crunchy and chewy, Shauna, Ellen. But the other thing is that when I rinse them, I don't rinse them with the cheesecloth on. So I take off the top,
Oh,
I take off the cheesecloth, I put back the top, and then over the sink, I kind of pour it at an angle in between my fingers and get the water out of it. No, I fill it up with water and then put it through my fingers. And
you don't
so
really
the,
even have to put the lid back on if you're doing it that way, right?
yeah, but I want to keep this on. Right now I tied it, but I want to keep this on,
Right, but
you
when
know.
you rinse them, when you pour the water out, I'm saying
Right.
you don't
But
have to have the lid, the outer ring.
no, I guess you don't need it. You don't have to have it. No.
Right.
They're very small and I didn't want them to lose whatever. So I'm going to go online and Google things that you can do with lentils. And
Well,
also,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could think about it. You can put them in soup. You can put them in salad. You can put them over rice. You can do a million things. I would say to keep them now in the refrigerator, though,
yes, I'm going to do that now that I know that they're done.
and put them somewhere where you're going to see them because I think otherwise they'll. All right, so hold on. I got to tell my. All right.
Sprout with me. You know what, Shauna? I'll tell you how hard it was. I took my ball jars, my quart, that's a quart, I think. Took my ball jars and I filled them with the lentils and I topped it off with water until it was well covered with water, even more, because you know how the beans have a tendency to expand. And then I put the cover on it, just the regular cover that comes with a ball jar. I put it on there and I let it sit for till the next day for like 24 hours. And then you take out the water, you rinse them, and then you make sure you have to have like the cheesecloth or a grated lid on the top so that air can still get in with them. And
It
but
works.
here's my question. Question. When I put them on my salad, do I need to consider them a starch?
It's a good question, and my instinct is to say yes because they're a bean.
Right.
I mean, the fact that they're sprouted, it's not a whole lot different than if you think about it, when we buy the rolled oats from Costco that are sprouted,
Yeah.
right? I don't know how much they sprout them because they don't have tails. I mean, when we have that oatmeal, it doesn't have to, but somehow those oats are sprouted. So I don't know. That's a really good question to
And
pursue.
you know, Shauna, when I was showing these, my new silicone dupes, my
Right.
super
So
cute.
those are for putting, you can put stuff in the freezer, freeze it, and the next day when they're frozen, you take them out. I will tell you that they retain the smell. They work best to clean in the dishwasher.
Okay.
Not so much the lids, but the actual silicone molds work better to wash in the dishwasher. Well, that's cool. You're going to want to get more of those, trust me. You're going to Okay, so I wanted to get back to sort of the subject of the day, and I'll tell Shauna that we pulled an angel card and it was joy. And we talked about how much joy this way of eating has brought both of us. And I am even and I feel like I've been doing this for a while, but I have not been as faithful to the starch solution way of doing things. I've been not, I don't know, maybe modified, I guess, but I have been faithful for you're the same amount of time you have, Faye, because I started when you did with me 2+ weeks ago. And the results speak for themselves. I lost 2 pounds. I didn't want to, didn't mean to, didn't try to. I just lost the two, and I don't even care about that. I'm so joyful about the fact that and I want to also say something else about that. I want to try to articulate this, and I want to see if you understand it, especially you, Faye, because you and I both have celiac. I've tried explaining this, and my tongue gets all twisted for a long time until I was diagnosed with celiac, which I was in 2005, winter of, um, I was hungry all the time.
Mhm.
I'm talking ravenous, like get me food right now or I'm going to kill you. That's how hungry I was all the time. And when I think back on how hungry I was from a young child, remember we used to go to Perkins Pancake House? Remember that in Tom's River? And I would get the He-Man special, the Log Man special, Logger Man special. It would be like five pancakes, five strips of bacon, three scrambled eggs, two pieces of toast, and I would eat the whole damn thing.
It's like Denny's. Daddy used to get it at Denny's.
Pennies, right. And I ate that. And it was like mom used to say, "Do you have a hollow leg or something?" And I think it was because I was just hungry all the time. I never could get enough food in me and never feel satiated. And that left, and that's a little hard to explain, but I'll try.
Mhm.
That left a scar on my psyche. And for me, when I get hungry now, ever since, and even though I was diagnosed 20 years ago and I don't have celiac, I have celiac, but I don't have any issues because I don't cheat. I still am fearful when I get hungry. It's almost like I'm afraid that I'm not going to have anything to eat ever. It's a crazy mentality that I have. And so fast forward to this way of eating. I rarely get that ravenously hungry because I'm so satiated and the food that we eat, the starches and the vegetables. And while for those of you who are watching, hello Karen, nice to have you here. Shauna, you have been so helpful in sort of kicking me into gear and to taking what I was modified as a starch solution and I was. I have lots of videos that say starch solution, but you took it to a new level for me. And by your model, it has just made such a huge difference for me. So I just, that hunger, it's interesting to me that even still though, if I do get a little bit hungry, there's a little like voice in me, that sassy little voice that Shauna you talk about, that goes, you better go eat. You better go eat right now. Eat right now, right now, right now. And I know that I don't have to, and I know that I'm not going to starve, and I also know that food is just one starch solution meal away from me, So, anyway, what I wanted to talk to, because I need to end at really 7 on the dot, and it's that, so we have about 20 minutes. You're welcome, Shauna. You're very welcome, actually. So I want to talk about the oil because the oil is the one thing, right? The two questions that we get from people all the time, Faye, are what?
Why do we do oil's healthy? What do you
Right.
think?
Oil is healthy. And then
I
what's
don't
the other one?
understand that.
What's the other one
I don't
besides
even
oil? Where are you going to get your,
protein.
right? I mean, how many times have we had that said to us? And it's just astonishing how people don't understand that plant foods have protein in them. Lots of
Right.
protein. If you add up over the course of a day, I'm not saying to not add, like I said, I think especially for menopausal women, yeah, broccoli has protein. For menopausal women, if you either you're in peri, smack in the middle, post, the soy is a really big help, and it's not going to give men man boobs. It's going to actually help stave off the menopausal symptoms, for sure. So Shauna says I'm the same fear of not having food. Yeah, it's a fear that I've had from when my mom and dad divorced and we didn't have enough money for food. So there you go. You have a legitimate reason to be afraid of being hungry. And it pains me greatly and tears terribly at me when I think about the starvation that's going on in Gaza right now. And I don't want to make this into a political thing, but it just for people for the food insecurities in this country alone, it breaks my heart to think that there are children who are not getting fed what they need to get fed. That just breaks my heart. So anyway, I want to go back to the oil thing. When I first started this, I was a non-believer. Oil? Come on, it's good for you. It's healthy. Olive oil? I mean, because we were fed that by the olive oil companies, and we bought it, swallowed it hook, line, and sinker. And you don't believe it until you do it. You don't believe it until you learn how to saute with water or broth. You just don't believe it. And I get it because I was there. Faye, you were there. Shawnee, you were there. Everybody who follows this lifestyle, they were there. But that oil, man, if you look at a calorie density chart, Think about that. Oil is 4,000 calories a pound. Now, we don't eat a pound. I know that. But the point is, okay, but you very easily eat a tablespoon, if not more, at a meal. And if you eat 1 tablespoon at a meal, and you do that 3 times a day, that's almost 500 calories. Well, for me, that's about a quarter of my, not even a quarter. It's a little bit less. I think it's a percentage of my calories, and I would rather eat food that's going to give me the phytonutrients and the antioxidants and the fiber and the water. I'd much rather do that, or I'd rather go eat some olives instead of the olive oil. And you want to crowd out the things that are not going to support you or serve you, and you want to bring in the things that are going to do that. So, having said that, Faye, is there a particular stock slash broth that you like to saute with? Do you have one you love?
I get either the Pacific or the Progresso, or I actually get it at Aldi's has it too.
Do they have the low sodium one?
I don't know. I don't know. I have to look, but first it doesn't taste like it has sodium in it. But yeah.
Yes. So I mean I tend to like the Pacific one that's low sodium, and it's a vegetable. I don't remember if it says broth or stock on it, but that tends to be the one that I use. Sometimes I use the Better Than Bouillon, but I'm really trying to wean myself off of that and not use as much because it's so high in sodium. It's ridiculous. And I'm also even trying to wean myself off of the amount of soy sauce, I should say tamari, wheat-free tamari, and coconut aminos, which also is full of sodium. And I find that when I have any of that stuff for dinner, like coconut aminos, tamari, the next day I wake up and I cannot even budge my rings. They are so tight on me. Have you ever noticed that?
No. When I've eaten salt like at a restaurant, because that's where you're going to get an excess salt, amount of salt before came back on the wagon.
Right.
Um, yeah, I would wake up the next day and I couldn't. But now, you know what? I consider myself. I use a minimal amount. I don't use like a salt shaker would
Hmm.
do.
Hmm.
Hi Ruth. Ruth's here. Hi Ruth.
Hi, Ruth. Nice to
And
see you.
and another thing I just wanted to add about the oil. I remember when you were washing something in the sink last week that had oil in it, and it's such a pain in the tush to
It is.
wash,
Right. It was
you know.
something that we made for the guys, right?
And so when I make things and I put it in the refrigerator, it lasts. It does not become rancid. It doesn't become rancid, and that's what makes food get rancid in the refrigerator, I believe,
Well,
is
the
that
oil and also the animal products,
right?
they get
Yes.
rancid.
Yeah,
And
but if somebody can make a vegetable soup with vegetable oil or any kind of soup and use the oil to, saute the vegetables, it's not going to last as long, I promise you.
you know what? Has this happened to you? It's always amazing to me how I might find some leftover chili, beans, whatever, rice, you name it, in like the back of the refrigerator, and it was maybe from 10 days ago, and I'm like, there's no way this can still be good. And I open it and it's still good. It's amazing how good it is. So I actually want to go back now and just say, I wanted to first of all just say that the oil is a big bugaboo for a lot of people. They can't seem to get over that. But if you get over that hump, I promise you that you will be stunned and you'll be sitting there saying the same thing that we say now, which is honestly, it's not a big deal. You don't need the oil. Yeah, and I don't even like the mouth feel anymore. Ugh, I don't even want it, right? That's why my beans last so long. No oil. Wow, exactly. There's nothing to get putrefied. Is that a word?
Yes,
Putrefied. Yeah.
I'm,
So
I'm
yeah.
petrified it's going to get putrefied.
I'm not petrified. It's going to get putrefied.
And it won't.
I hope it gets putrefied so that we can throw it out. No putrefaction. No putrefied. No putrefaction. Yes. Okay, whatever. My head went somewhere else. Yes. So, uh, I wanted to tell you about my experience with the Instant Pot. So, because Sean is here, and I'll explain a little bit, but I'm also going to put it in her group on Facebook and just say that it definitely I did it for 5 hours It wasn't enough. At 9 o'clock last night, I decided that it wasn't enough. So I added 2 more hours, did it for 2 more hours. But by then I went to bed and I just decided to leave it in there overnight. So I did. And when I got up this morning at, I don't know, 7, and I opened it, it actually reverted to, after the 2 more hours, it reverted to the keep warm function. And so when I opened it, it was warm. And they continued to cook a little bit overnight. So they were done and I had them for lunch. However, they were not as done, as mushy as I like. Now, I'm either going to try it one more time, give it the good old college try, and maybe do them for like 8 hours in total, like what Penny did. Or I'm just going to say, screw it. I mean, I told Michael that they really were not, they weren't to my satisfaction. And I said, I know you don't want me to get another piece of another toy, but I need it. And he said, fine, just get it. So I better do that before he changes his mind. And it's not the money, it's just more where we're going to put it kind of thing. But I'll put it downstairs in the cold room. So anyway, that's that. And I thought that we could, because I need to really keep an eye on the clock. I thought that we could pull a power thought card and sort of aim to end in about maybe 7 or 8 minutes. And
Hi, hi,
then
Stephanie.
and let's hi Stephanie. Let's talk about, before I pull this card, let's talk about moving forward, right? We did the 7-day boot camp. The boot camp, by the way, it wasn't as Starch Solution or even especially Maximum Weight Loss Solution strict, although you really did jump on that bandwagon because of doing Shauna's 30-day reset. Where do we go from here? What's your thought about that?
I think a couple of times a week, if it's not too much, to see how everybody's doing and to maybe do a little bit more cooking. We've been talking a lot in the
Yeah,
last, right? So I think maybe do some demo
yeah,
cooking for people. I
yeah,
could do it too. I mean,
yeah. Yes. All right, so we'll think about that, and I'm sure that you feel the way I do, which is that this is not like a okay, we're done. I lost all the weight, or okay, we're done. I feel great now, and now I'm then going to go back to how I used to eat. That's just not going to happen. We feel too much joy. We have too much wisdom. We had both of these cards, and the other one was education. Those are the cards we pulled: joy, wisdom, and education. We have too much of that to go back. We now
mhm.
know. And this is the subject of a whole other live. And I'm not going to do it now, but if you're interested, you'll dabble and you'll fall prey to, I promise you, and I know from experience, if you dabble and you're simply interested, you will fall prey to the little voices in your head that will say, just this once. Remember, we talked about that word just and how dangerous that word is? Just this once. I'm just going to take this one bite. I'm just going to go out to this restaurant one time. I'm just going to eat this just one time. That word just is, it can really be, um,
Just comes from justified, right? You're justifying your actions.
does it?
I don't know, but
You just make that up?
I did.
That's so good. You're right. It's justifying. That is so good. Ruth says Joy is her middle name. And Starchy Jana says Ellen and Faye in the kitchen. That would be awfully fun. Okay. Um, I'm going to read to you. I'm going to show it to you. My life is a mirror. The people in my life are really mirrors of me. This affords me the opportunity to grow and change. I'm going to read it one more time, and Faye, I'm going to ask you if you would extemporize on it. Is that a word? If you would just, embellish it.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
people in my life are really mirrors of me, so you can see yourself in them. This affords me the opportunity to grow and change. And if we can do that in a way that doesn't point a finger or that doesn't insult anybody, right? So how does that ring for you?
My friends, I guess, are the people in my life who
Like what happened at lunch today?
I've been at lunch today. Yes, 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 exactly. And Shauna, you weren't on before. I don't know if you saw it on my, um, but I had lunch at the pool with about 5 or 6 friends, I think, and they all participate in the restaurant barbecue with ribs and chicken and salmon and hamburgers and mac and cheese, and it went on and on and on, and then fancy schmancy desserts. And I was able to eat my own lunch. I brought my own lunch. I ate my own lunch. Yep. And one more thing, you know what? Another thing, it has nothing to do with this, but if I don't say it, I'll forget it. When I went to Costco the other day, it was the first time I had gone to Costco in forever where I did not stop and get samples.
Interesting, because they're all over it at the end of every aisle practically, right? That's interesting. That's great. Yay for you. Yay. I hear you. I hear you. So my life is a mirror. The people in my life are really mirrors of me. This affords me the opportunity to grow and change. Yes, if we can see other people and if we can not criticize them, right? But just know that we're all human beings and we all have our foibles and we all have things that trip us up. And I think that I personally think that one of the the most loving ways to go through life is to just be loving and to just accept everybody for where they are and to know that when I look at you, I see myself because we're both human beings and we're both human beings. We're not human doings, we're human beings, you know, and we be in community together, we be in love together, we be in support together. And if we can remember that and I think the idea that the people in my life are really mirrors, this gives me an opportunity to grow and change. So if we see other people and they are making choices that we don't want to make, we can say, you do you, which is what I always say. You do you. And I'm not going to cast aspersions on you. I'm not going to say you should. You know, we should take the word should out of our vocabulary. You should do this, right? What we can do, though, is to say, okay, we want to make different choices. We want to make choices that show bold, brave action. We want to make choices that show that we're never going to give up. And we want to make sure we continue to make choices that help to solidify and help our support team continue to help support us because we're making those choices that are supportive of our choices. Okay, so all right. So, having said that, that is terrific. Feel a little bit sad and bereft about finishing up on day 7, but we are going to we'll gather again. And I want to say thank you to Faye for skipping her mahjong game. I'm sorry that you had to do that, but it's great. Any last words that you want to words of encouragement you want to share?
Um, yes, I love you so much. And you have helped me
Oh, me?
too. You have helped me so much. And Shauna has helped me so much. Relying on the two of you to keep me on the straight and narrow is what I need right now while I'm still on my honeymoon. Um, I'm very grateful for you, and I would love to hear from you and to be with you a couple times a week. I think people need that. They need the love and compassion. They don't need the guilt-ridden, comments.
Right. They need support and they need love. More than anything else, they need
Right.
love. People need to know that they're loved. It's all about the love. I used to tell
Yes.
my kids that. It's all about
Mhm.
the love. So, in any case, I am really thrilled to have been on this journey with all of you, and we'll continue to do more of this. And I am going to get back on the YouTube wagon and make some videos because I have a lot of YouTube food videos that I want to make, and I will be doing that. And so thank you so much to everybody who's here. It's all about the love. It's absolutely all about the love. There's a great song by, I'm totally blanking on her name, but it goes, love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, it comes back bringing more. I can't remember the words. Love is like a magic penny. Hold it tight and you won't have any. Lend it, spend it, and you'll have so many, they'll roll all over the floor. For love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you'll end up having more. It's a great song. So, yes.
Shel Silverstein's The Giving Tree.
Yeah, read that book. It's a great, great book. Um,
Great. Giving Tree's a great book.
so thank you so much for being here. Stephanie, thank you as well. We're glad you found us.
Yes,
Um,
we're building a world with love. Yes, yes, we're
one
building a world
world,
with love.
one person at a time. And the world goes round and round, and the world goes round and round and round, and the world goes round and round, and the world goes round and round and round. Thank you so much for being here. Mwah.